An orange, in the toe of a stocking. That was Christmas morning for millions of American children. And here's the part that's hard to explain now. They were thrilled. Because in January, in a cold house, in a country where fruit came by season and by rail, an orange was a genuinely exotic thing. It smelled like somewhere else. And getting one, once a year, was a small miracle that a child remembered for 80 years, and plenty of them, at 92, still put an orange in their grandchildren's stockings, and nobody in the family knows why. Today, we're talking about what Christmas cost. The gifts, the tree, the table, the catalogue, and how families paid for a holiday when there wasn't much money. And what changed between then and the version we have now. This isn't an economics lecture. It's a walk back to a smaller Christmas that people remember as bigger. Come on, start with what was actually under the tree, because the list is short. A typical Christmas for a working family in the first half of the 20th century, and in plenty of homes well past it, meant one gift per child, maybe two. And the stocking, which was the reliable part, an orange or an apple, a handful of nuts, hard candy, maybe a small toy, a penny or a coin. The one gift was often practical: clothes, boots, a coat. And here's a thing that surprises modern people. Children were genuinely happy to receive clothes, because clothes were expensive, and getting something new instead of a hand-me-down was a real event. When it was a toy, it was often handmade: a wooden truck a father built in the barn after everyone went to bed, a doll a mother sewed in the evenings for weeks, doll clothes made from scraps of a dress. And the miracle of that arrangement was that the child had no idea, because the making happened in secret, at night, when the house was asleep. And here's the arithmetic that makes it land. For a lot of these families, that one gift plus a good dinner represented a serious percentage of a month's income. They didn't have less Christmas because they cared less. They had exactly as much Christmas as they could carry. Now the catalogue, which deserves a monument. In the fall, the big mail-order catalogue arrived. Hundreds of pages, and for a rural family, that book was the entire world of purchasable objects. Children fought over it, folded down corners, circled things, and studied the toy pages until the paper wore soft. Kids planned imaginary Christmases in enormous detail from that catalogue, and they'll tell you now that the wanting was almost as good as the getting. And the ordering was its own drama. A parent filling out the form, the money order, the mail out, and then weeks of waiting and watching for the delivery, which had to be hidden the instant it arrived. Whole Christmases hinged on whether a package made it through in time. Now the tree, which cost almost nothing and was a whole evening. Very often, you went and cut it yourself, or it came from a lot for a small amount. And the decorations were largely homemade and reused for decades. Paper chains kids made, strings of popcorn and cranberries, homemade ornaments, tinsel that was carefully removed strand by strand and saved for next year. The good glass ornaments were an investment that got racked like eggs and lived in the same box for 40 years. And the lights, when families got them, were a serious purchase, and those old strings had the famous flaw where one bad bulb killed the whole string, so somebody spent an hour of Christmas Eve testing bulbs one at a time, which is its own beloved family memory of mild suffering. Now the food, because Christmas dinner was where the money actually went. The gift was small, the table was not. This is the thing modern people get backwards about old Christmases. Families would spend far more on the dinner than the presents, because the meal was the celebration. The good meat that was too expensive the rest of the year. The oranges and nuts. Real butter. Sugar for baking, in the years when sugar was dear or rationed. A cellar that had been filled all summer, opened wide for one day. Baking started days ahead. Cookies, pies, breads, and a lot of it was given away to neighbors, which was both generosity and, quietly, the gift budget. When you can't buy presents, you bake them. And that dinner was the point. Extended family, the leaves in the table, the good dishes, and one day of eating like you weren't poor. A few more pieces of that holiday deserve their moment, because they're where the money and the memory actually met. The Christmas card, which was a real budget line. Cards cost money and stamps cost money, and a family with a long list was making a genuine expenditure to stay in touch with everyone they'd ever known. And they wrote them by hand, at the kitchen table over several evenings, and receiving them was an event, with the cards strung up on a door frame or taped around a mirror so the whole house could see who'd written. That display was a family's social map, hanging in the living room for a month. The church and the school programs, which cost nothing and mattered enormously. The Christmas pageant with the bathrobe shepherds and the tinsel halos, the school program every parent attended, the caroling. In a season where a family might not be able to buy much, the community provided the spectacle for free, and those pageants are, for a surprising number of people, the single strongest Christmas memory they have. Company at the door. Neighbors dropped in through the whole season, and hosts kept something ready, cookies, a cake, coffee, whatever the house could offer. That hospitality was itself part of the holiday spending, in ingredients and in labor, and nobody counted it as a gift budget, even though that's exactly what it was. The one big shared gift. In a lot of families, when there was any money at all, it went into something for everybody. A sled, a wagon, a bicycle shared among siblings, a board game, later a record player or a television. That was a strategy, one purchase that 4 kids could use, and it also meant Christmas produced things families did together, rather than 4 separate solitary toys. That's a design choice we've largely abandoned, and I think about it every year. Toys that lasted. The wagon, the sled, the doll, the erector set, the train, these were bought once and used for a decade, then handed to the next child, then stored in an attic where a grandchild found them 30 years later. A gift that survives to be found by the next generation is doing something no disposable toy can do. Several of you have one of those objects in your house right now, and you know exactly which one I mean. Now, how families paid for it, because this part is genuinely interesting. There was no credit card, so people used Christmas clubs, special savings accounts at the bank, where you put in a small amount every single week, all year, and the bank paid it out in November. Millions of families financed Christmas that way, $1 a week for 50 weeks. Layaway did the same work at the store. You picked the item, paid a little at a time, and collected it before the holiday. Think about what those systems required. Planning 11 months ahead and denying yourself weekly for a day in December. That's a completely different relationship with a holiday than putting it on a card in a night and paying interest until spring. Neither is free. One costs you in advance, in discipline, and one costs you afterward, in interest. And here's the honest chapter, because Christmas nostalgia gets very thick. Plenty of families couldn't manage even that. There were homes where the children got nothing, or nearly nothing, and the parents carried that as a private grief for the rest of their lives. Charities, churches, and neighbors quietly filled gaps, and being the family that received the basket was its own complicated feeling, grateful and humiliated at once. Anyone who tells the sweet version of an old-fashioned Christmas without mentioning that is telling half a story. And the labor fell where it always fell, on women. The baking, the cooking, the cleaning, the sewing of gifts at night, the letters, the decorating, the hosting, and the invisible management of everyone's feelings. Christmas was, for a great many mothers, the hardest working week of the year, and the memory of a warm holiday kitchen belongs partly to somebody who was exhausted in it. So what changed? Money got easier and things got cheaper. Mass manufacturing and later cheap imports made toys and goods a fraction of what they cost in work hours. Credit arrived, so a family could have Christmas now and pay later. Advertising expanded enormously, and children learned to want specific branded things rather than a toy. Gift counts climbed, one gift became several, then a pile. And here's the trade, stated plainly. We got abundance, and abundance is not nothing. Kids today get things their great-grandparents couldn't have imagined, and no one who lived through a lean Christmas romanticizes going without. But abundance is exactly what makes a single orange stop meaning anything. Scarcity is what made that orange a memory. And you can't manufacture scarcity in a house full of stuff, which is why so many people spend thousands and then say the holiday felt oddly flat, and why their grandmother got one doll and talked about it until she died. That's not a moral failing on anybody's part. It's arithmetic of attention. The fewer things there are, the more attention each one gets. That's all. So what's worth carrying forward? The making. A handmade gift still lands differently, and the making at night after the kids are asleep is still available to anyone with a Saturday and a little patience. The table over the pile. Old Christmases put the money in the meal and the people around it, and every account from that era says the dinner is what they remember, not the gift. The waiting. Advent calendars, the countdown, the catalogue studied for weeks, the anticipation was half the holiday, and it's the part we've engineered out with instant everything. And the giving outward. Those neighbours with the cookies and the baskets understood something we say and don't always do. The holiday works better aimed at somebody else. Now here's my favourite part, and I want a lot of you in the comments for this one. What did you get for Christmas as a child? The specific gift you remember best. Was there an orange in your stocking? Did your family use a Christmas club or layaway? What did your mother or grandmother cook? And who did all that work? And what's the one Christmas you'd go back to for an hour if you could? Put it in the comments with the town and the year. I read every single one, and this comment section is going to be the warmest thing on the internet this week. Until next time, take care of yourselves.